Welcome back to Journey to Self. I am your host, Sandy Bartlett, and we are continuing our Becoming Visible series with a topic that I know will resonate deeply: beauty and self worth. So many of us grew up with a very clear message: beauty is currency. Your worth is tied to how you look. And when you age, you become less than. And that conditioning started young. Maybe you heard, "You'd be so pretty if you'd lose weight." Don't wear that, it's not flattering. Beauty fades, better enjoy it while you can. We carry these messages for years until one day we look in the mirror and we wonder, am I still enough? Let me tell you right now, yes, you are. But we have to unlearn the conditioning that told us otherwise. Before we dive into the meat of the episode of today's conversation, let's take a moment for our intuitive moment. The card I pulled for this episode is Wild Woman from my Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. And she comes with an invitation, one that may feel both exhilarating and a little unsettling. The wild woman is untamed, unapologetic, and fiercely free. She dances without shame, speaks without fear, and embraces every part of herself: the messy, the radiant, the strong, and the vulnerable. She is the part of you that existed before the world told you who to be. But somewhere along the way, we were taught to suppress her, to be polite instead of bold, to be likable instead of authentic, to be contained instead of free. Yet, she never truly disappears. She waits just beneath the surface, longing for you to remember her. When was the last time you let yourself be fully seen without editing or apologizing? Where have you traded wildness for acceptance, freedom, for approval? What would it feel like to live unfiltered, trusting your intuition and instincts completely? The wild woman isn't reckless, she is wise. She reminds us that our true beauty, our full power, comes from our willingness to be seen in our wholeness, not just the polished parts, but the raw, real, and untamed ones too. As we explore today's theme, redefining beauty and breaking free from old conditioning, let's carry her message with us. You were never meant to shrink. You were never meant to be tamed. It's time to set yourself free. Have you ever noticed how our first ideas about beauty came from childhood? Think back. Did the women around you critique their bodies in front of you? Were you praised for being pretty more than being smart or capable? Were you encouraged to embrace your unique features or told to fix them? Maybe your mother, aunts, or grandmothers constantly talked about dieting. Maybe you were taught that looking youthful was the ultimate goal. Maybe you were compared to others, siblings, celebrities, even strangers. All of this taught us something: that our worth was tied to appearance, and that as we aged, we were supposed to fight against it. But let's be clear about something. The problem isn't aging. The problem is the belief that aging makes us invisible. And that belief is a lie. I remember a time when I was shopping for clothes, and as I picked something up, my first thought was, is this going to hide my stomach? Is this going to make me look younger? And it was in that moment that it hit me. Why was I shopping to disappear? I had spent years trying to make myself acceptable, choosing outfits that made me look smaller, coloring my hair so I wouldn't look old, hesitating before taking a picture because I worried about my wrinkles. And you know what? It exhausted me. That was the day I stopped asking, does this hide me? And I started asking, does this feel like me? And that was the shift. Confidence isn't about erasing yourself, it's about owning yourself. So let's pause for a moment. I want you to ask yourself, where did I first learn to judge my appearance? What old messages about beauty am I still carrying? What would it feel like to love the way I look right now, exactly as I am? Just notice what comes up. No judgment. This is just about awareness. You know, as I was preparing for this episode, I couldn't help but think about how much of our visibility or lack thereof is shaped by forces outside of us. And one of the biggest culprits, the media. From the time we're young, we're taught through movies, magazines, and advertising that youth equals value. That being seen means being desirable, and that as we age, we somehow start fading from the picture. And this isn't just a feeling, it's backed by real data. There's a study that I read, or I was listening to I think I was listening to a podcast or something, and they shared this study about women over 50 make up only a small percentage of speaking roles in Hollywood films, despite being a major part of the population. And when they do appear, they're often portrayed as side characters, caregivers, or someone's mother, rarely as the lead, rarely as the powerful force they actually are. And in the corporate world, the percentage of women in visible leadership roles declines sharply with age, reinforcing the message that our voices, our presence somehow matter less over time. Think about the last time you saw a beauty campaign that celebrated aging instead of trying to fight it, or a TV show where a woman over 50 was thriving, leading, taking up space without it being framed as some kind of anomaly. The media has conditioned us to believe that we should shrink ourselves once we pass a certain age, but I refuse to accept that, and I invite you to refuse it too. So here's something to reflect on. How have these media messages influenced the way you see yourself? Have they made you hesitate before stepping into the spotlight, before speaking your truth, before fully owning your presence? Be honest. It's time to break that illusion. We are not disappearing. We are not becoming less relevant. We are here, and it's time we take our power back. There's a quote by Naomi Wolf that I absolutely love. A woman grows beautiful when she knows she is beautiful. Think about that. What if beauty wasn't about society's rules? What if it was about how you see yourself? What if it was about how much space you allow yourself to take up? This week, I want you to take one action to reclaim your beauty and self-worth. It could be wearing something you love without second guessing if it's flattering. Just makes you feel good. Maybe it's taking a selfie, no filter. Look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. Another option is find an old picture of yourself where you thought you weren't pretty at the time and reframe it. See the beauty that was always there. And if you're ready to take this deeper, my Second Spring Awakening coaching program is all about redefining your worth and stepping into your power. You'll find the link in the show notes. Let's talk about embracing this new chapter. You are not a before and after picture. You are not an almost there. You are beautiful because you are here. Next week, we're talking about the power of owning your story because visibility isn't just about how you look. It's about your voice, your experiences, and the way you show up in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to hit that follow button so you get notified of new episodes and share this show with at least one other person today. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to join me in my membership community, Journey to Self, The Awakening. It's a sacred space where we explore transformational healing, engage in monthly calls, and grow together. And if you'd like more tips, tools, and inspiration delivered straight to your inbox, be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. You'll find the links to both the community and the mailing list in the show notes. Thank you again for joining me on this journey, and until next time, be true to you.